Hi everybody, this is me, Rooney Lin, once again. And after a long, busy weekday, like currently finished week 3 of semester 2, I'm returning back to brilliant.org. But yes, also recorded one video earlier this week because of some particular interest that I want to demonstrate to you. So like today is Saturday, actually end of Saturday, and as a part of brilliant.org, I'm going to make some educational video recordings again. So in this science chapter, see the science in the world around you. Like I haven't recorded this science category for like several weeks now. So this chapter called kurzgesagt beyond the nutshell. Kurzgesagt. That's a kind of word come from German. So just make a spelling correctly. That chapter with the mouse pointer here, I'm going to do something. So I'll click on it. Yes. The objective of this chapter is to dive into the science behind your favorite kurzgesagt videos. Right, like you already heard that in YouTube video that I sometimes watch these educational science video with very fascinating animations that gain lots of views and subscribers as well. Like every few days, millions of people have been viewing this, like kind of watching this to get some interest and power of curiosity. So this level 3 on brilliant.org chapter is life. The exercise called Size of Life is that chapter what we're going to learn all together as you all follow with me, learning through all the similar contents what I'm going to cover here. So I'll click this start to begin it. Wait a second. Right, here we go. Size of life. Living things are the result of many exquisite balancing acts such as the flow of heat in and out of the body. I'll scroll down a bit. No, nothing. An imbalance can be the difference between life and death. So I'll click on this play animation to begin what this sequence looks like. Normal heat produced and heat loss is like kind of constant amount, but wait, I'll click reset, adjust heat loss, like for example, no heat loss and click play. Too much heat will come out as sweat. And if I increase to like medium, nothing happened, reset. If completely lost to maximum amount, oh, the opposite happened. Very low body temperature, like freezing. Opposite of sweating when heat loss is 0. So this amount of normal heat loss should be, yes. Oops. Not this one, but this one. Heat produced and heat loss are balanced, so not much difference means the body temperature is stable, so this creature is lively, right? Like kind of produce and loss how much it can create an impact of our body temperature in our daily life. Continue. What would happen if an animal's rate heat loss was greater than rate of heat gain over a long period of time? Of course, wait. What value? You should recharge surely. Of course, they will freeze to death. Definitely this one. That's right. Continue. Yes, from the previous animation play recording videos, like you see this description and you all just learned that for warm-blooded animals, existence is the balance between heat gain and loss. A bit off in either direction for too long, body systems start to unravel. Heat loss is too low, then hot and sweaty. Heat loss too high, then cold and chilly. Like you see these two contrasting differences. Continue. Alright, let's take a closer look at the input side of this balance. What do you think animals gain the most heat? Is it like ingesting hot food, metabolism, walking, or sunlight? Most heat. Let's guess. I think more likely metabolism. Let's click on it. That's right. Definitely, my assumption is correct, but anyway, continue. Yes, the description tells us that we eat to heat. At the molecular level, food is made of compounds the body breaks down for energy. Some of this energy is captured to do useful things like think and move, but most is dissipated as heat. Kind of basic description how energy and human body matters with heat energy changes. Continue. Well, this shows the typical daily energy budget for a human. Try to explore the sources of heat generation. One food, metabolism, walking, sunlight, 1.5. Metabolism, so here, fractional heat generation comes from metabolism should be zero point 0.9. Let's check. Of course, that's correct. Let's click on why. Of the roughly 11.5 megajoules of daily heat generation in a human, about 10 megajoules comes from metabolism. So 10 divided by to the 11.5, approximately zero point 0.9. Truly that correct answer, right? Scroll down, nothing else happens. Anyway, continue to see what's next. This, this description tells us that from the 15 centimeters canary to the 3-meter elephant, animals need to keep their body at around 37 degrees Celsius, fueled almost entirely by the heat from metabolism. Kind of basic chemical metabolism required in every living thing to keep themselves alive, depending on the calorie consumption of daily intake like this. Continue. This fueling naturally depends on how big the animal is. Which do you think need to eat more food, a 5,000 kilogram elephant or 5,000 kilogram worth of canaries? Oh wait, which eats more? They eat the same amount. I think elephant eats more, surely. Oh yes, that's a reasonable guess. To figure it out, we have to look at what happens to the heat from all the food these animals eat. General assumption like I just predicted, but we'll search more what might we have discovered to click continue here. Yes, canaries are much smaller than elephants. Their heights differ by nearly 2 orders of magnitude. Though we're comparing the overall metabolism of an elephant to the overall metabolism of an elephant's worth of canaries. So this diagram, comparing two different body cells in their bodies. However, it is given such that what we really want to compare is their cellular metabolism. The speed of metabolism in an average elephant cell versus the speed of metabolism that of an average canary cell. Kind of two different contrasts to determine what's next. Continue. We'll approach this by looking at heat flows. Suppose an animal's volume is V and their cellular metabolic rate is K. Can you express their overall rate of heat generation? Of course, metabolic rate is K and volume is V. I think product of these two, KV. Done. Let's check. Of course, that's correct. Let's click on Y for reasoning. Yes, to the number of cells in animals proportional to its volume and its overall rate of heat generation is the number of cells times the metabolism of those cells. So K multiplied by V is the correct answer here. I think simple evaluation to get started. Anyway, continue. The overall heat generation and therefore the amount of heat the animal needs to get by eating food is the product of their volume and their cellular metabolic rate K. How should we approach finding K for different animals? Is it assumed that constant for all animals? Find what will make heat gain or loss equal? Make it proportional to how fast animal can move? I think first and third can't be approachable methods, so this second one, heat gains and losses. Let's click on it. Right. We know that heat gain and loss need to balance, so the K for each animal should ensure that its temperature is maintained close to or near 37 degrees Celsius. Alright, assumption wasn't too bad at all. Continue. Like this diagram is referring back to where we're just getting started. As soon as I adapted this entire animation by adjusting heat balance gains and losses, like control different in terms of heat into out of the surroundings, right? Something basically like I want to recap, but anyway, continue. Okay, now let's turn to loss. How do you think animals lose the most heat? Is it breathing, skin, or urination? Probably through the skin. Other two are not too likely, unlikely. That's right. Continue. An animal's warm skin is constantly radiating heat to its surroundings and warming the air it touches. This is simply how most of an animal's heat is lost. Alright, general brief explanation to what I just make an assumption here. Anyway, continue. These show that typical daily heat losses from the source of a human. About what fraction of heat loss comes from the skin? Firstly, breathing is 1.5, urination is 0.05, skin is 10. So here, again, similar proportion, 0.9 is might be correct. Let's check. That's correct. Wow, 40 XP for this. Isn't it crucial? Let's click Y. Yes, of the roughly 11.5 megajoules of daily heat loss from a human, about 10 megajoules through the skin, again, approximately the same fraction of zero point 0.9 is obtained, very close to the previous one we've demonstrated with me, right? Anyway, continue. Now, we've established a few key pieces of information. Almost all heat gain comes from the food. Here, metabolism, enter. And 2, almost all heat is lost through the skin. So skin is out of the body. And 3, heat loss equals heat gain. Kind of heat balance that I just demonstrated. Like this scientific theory is very crucial to understand how a human body energy system works. Overall, taking all these together, we can see how eating scales and figure out how much our elephant-sized flock of canaries eats. General comparison, isn't it? Anyway, continue. To keep things simple, we can pretend animals all have the same lovely shape, a cube. This very tiny small cube with the length L. But if I raise here, then it increased in length, right? Increase in length, like, look at this, how enormous it is. Continue. We found that the rate of heat generation by the animal is kV. We want a clear picture of how things scale with size. How does V depend on the length scale L of an animal? That's like increasing volume, so V is L over 3, right? Like increased proportionality to its volume, so that must be correct. Let's check. Of course, that is definitely correct. Let's click on Y for reasoning. Of course, like remember, mathematically, the term says that volume of a cube can be calculated by V equal L times L times L equal L cubed, or L to the power of 3. It is therefore more complicated to calculate the volume of other shapes, but in general, volume scales with length cubed. Cubic length is exactly the volume, so that proportional increase is definitely correct mathematical assumption. Anyway, continue. Heat generation for our cube dog is proportional to k times L to the power of 3. As it gets bigger, the number of cells that are carrying out metabolism increase like L cube, right? Length here and volume is this. So increase this, they increase proportionally. Length is 6, volume is 6 to the power of 3, so 216 and so on. Depending on K, the heat generation could get very large indeed, increasing the initial length L0 by 10 times lead to 1,000 times increase in volume. Absolutely massive, isn't it? Anyway, continue. I think we're nowhere left to go, like a few more contents left to cover here. Most heat is lost through the skin, so how does our cube dot through the skin area depend on L? Of course, area is also simple. It should be L to the power of 2 because area is double the length, right? So if I click on check, of course, that's correct. Area is, oh wait, let's click on Y first. The area of one side of cube is L cube, L to the power of 2. He has 6 sides in total, so his student area is 6L, 6 times L to the power of 2. It is more complicated to calculate the area of other shapes, but in general, area scales with length squared. Length squared, so like area volume relationship in terms of L, but these mathematical terms are very easy to consider, so I'm not going to repeat you that. Like what I already learned in secondary level, like length in terms of area and volume are very easy to work it out. All right. Anyway, continue. Heat loss is proportional to the surface area of the skin on cube dot, that's 6 sides worth of L squared. So it grows in proportion to L squared. If I expand this, 2, 4, and 8, 3, 9, 27, 4, 16, 64, 5, 25, 125, 6, 36, 216, and so on. Therefore, it can be proved that as an animal gets bigger, this grows quickly, but not as quickly as the number of metabolizing cells. General comparison dependent on area and size, not the metabolizing cells in its body itself. Continue. To maintain a constant temperature, heat loss must equal heat gain. Set these heat flows equal to find out how the metabolic rate K depends on L. Alright, let's see. L3 is L squared, so divide by L2 to L for the B is, wait, 1 to the inversely proportional, so 1 over L and K must be proportional. So if I click on check to consider what might happen, of course that's correct, like 40x be just L squared divided by L cubed, right? We know that KL cubed proportional to L squared, so isolate the metabolic rate K by dividing both sides by L cubed, so we find that K is now inversely proportional to L. K to 1 over L means inversely proportional, not directly, so a bit different general relationship that you've just demonstrated and understood. Anyway, continue. We are nowhere close to the finishing chapter. That's right. In this description, it can be said that volume and therefore the number of metabolizing cells grows faster than skin area. Because skin is the main channel for heat loss, metabolism must decrease as an animal gets bigger in order to maintain the same temperature. Kind of basic evidence from heat gains and losses that we've all evaluated together with me. Anyway, look at this two weird images, how metabolism and contrasting reactions, how K can be either expanded or contracted, like in terms of energy changes, right? You can comment in the you comment in the box below as well if you want to figure out what these two differences proportionally represent. Anyway, continue. Now, enter an expression for K in terms of L and it will be plotted against data for real animals. If you want, you can try to find an expression with a better fit than 1 over L. How could that be? Radius like K to kilogram is like inverse proportional like 1 over L, so wait, slightly different. What could that be? Wait. Expression for K in terms of L. Wait, this is slightly hard to determine. Better fit than 1L, so let's say like 2 over L maybe. Alright, that might be correct assumption I reckon, so like line of Curve of that sphere has been plotted, so let's click continue to check it out. Alright, wait, I'm not going to show you that, but like, I'll just read this final conclusion part, but I'm not going to return previous part, like, it's not checking everything. Anyway, our prediction from scaling arguments made using a simplified cube dog match the real world data quite well. An animal's metabolism tends to go as 1 over L. With this result, it's safe to say that an elephant with a large L would eat significantly less than an elephant-sized flock of canaries. More precisely, since an elephant has an L around 20 times larger than that of a canary, we'd expect the flock of canaries to eat about 20 times more food. Oh, don't know why like same size of canaries might consume much more food than the elephant. Alright, kind of basic general comparison we've just analyzed. Anyway, end of the exercise, end of the chapter right now. So going to finish this off by clicking on this finish tab right now. Wait a moment. Yes, lesson complete. As a result of this exercise completion, I've gained 150 XP this time around. Continue. Boom. Take a look at this. Miller's magic number. How memorable. Wow. Been doing this like for recently 4 days in a row, but like streak charges have helped me to save this streak. Like now, number 7. 7 days in a row means like entire 1 week long streak without interruption. So how precious this number is right now. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below if what this special number also means to you. Anyway, continue. No. Another bottom line ads might be appearing if you prefer to do this. Brilliant.org goes on free subscription, not premium. Only premium subscription allows us to turn off, but like sorry for the interruption here. Level up your learning with premium. But that's also again for premium users, but I'm only focusing on free. No need to repeat this, so remind me later. Alright, now I'm back at it. Dive into the science behind your favorite kurzgesagt videos. I've done this long enduring chapter of exercise called Science of Life, so confirm as tick. And the next chapter is rabies, but don't think I'm going to record that again because like a bit adding more general complexity of dealing these exercises in everyday scientific basis. So I'd like to conclude my recording video for now. Thanks very much for watching this video. If you are staying with me along this time right now, if you enjoy this, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel called Rooney Lin, and also discover other educational videos like these if you haven't viewed them yet. But I'll keep recording these educational videos in the future, so just don't miss out if I have to tell you again with my using YouTube notifications in my YouTube channel. So why not try it out? Anyway, that's the end of today's video that I've created, and I have to go for another day. That's it, guys. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye for now.